Afternoon, folks. My name's Joe Furla, and I'm going to be leading today's analytics boot camp. We're looking at going into 2023.8. Going GA just recently with analytics, so quite happy to be there, and quite happy to see analytics taken off the ground. We'll be joined today by Megan, the PM for analytics. So looks like we'll have a nice little boot camp. We're going to go ahead and get started with some housekeeping items while we have folks still joining us. We'll do a couple polls and then we'll hop into the boot camp itself. So first off, as always, Legal likes to come in to say hi, and two things we need to remember here. First things first, do remember that while the deck and session are being recorded, I cannot send out those recordings. There will be a section inside Enable You where you can find pre-recorded items on the analytics tool, learn more about the tool, or see a rehash of some of these sessions if you need. As well as that, please note we are talking about forward-facing items today, especially since we have PM here. But please note everything we do talk about schedule-wise is subject to change. While we're giving you folks the most accurate information we have at this point in time about our schedule, remember bugs pop up. Feature priorities will shift, so do take everything we talk about scheduling with a grain of salt, as it's always subject to change. But that being said, we'll do some quick introductions for myself. My name's Joe Furla. I've been here at Enable for about 6.5 years now. Started inside channel sales back in the days of the Logic Now acquisition. It was actually one of the first SolarWinds sales folks hired after that happened. Found out that I am not the best salesman, but I am good with tech. So I moved into the sales engineer role. Sat there for some time and got offered the opportunity to look at, create, and implement the partner success management team, which was quite fun. I had a great time spinning up that new part of our org. And then from there, I was offered the opportunity to join the head nerd team, which I jumped at because this was a position that just looked super interesting to me. So quite happy to be here today as the analytics head nerd. And I will quickly turn it over to Megan for introductions.
Thanks, Joe. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. So my name's Megan. I'm calling you today from the Ottawa office where, once again, it's still snowing. So take that. It's not even mid-November and we've already got at least an inch on the ground and this one is staying. So that's always a good time. Winter's really here. So I belong to the PM team. I originally came from the user experience team. So much like Joe was offered a great opportunity to keep growing within Enable. So my background is in human-computer interaction. I've been here for almost 4 years and recently joined the PM team to help bring analytics all the way through to GA. So we're really excited to finally deliver on the conversation we've been having for quite some time about the analytics within N-Central. And soon we'll also be helping to push common services such as SSO, user management service, and other types of cool things.
Awesome. Thank you there, Megan. Let's dive into our agenda today. All right, so we're going to start off with just some general overview of analytics. We'll go through some of the pre-made reports that we have. We'll take a look at the layout of the tool itself, talk a little bit about how it functions, go into customizing the reporting inside analytics, go over customer-facing exports, and then we'll open up for a Q&A. But that being said, don't hold questions till the end if they are in context about what we're talking about, right? If you guys have questions about a topic we're talking about, go ahead, ask them, get them out of the way while we're talking about that topic, because let's be honest, who really wants to hold questions till the end and have them answered out of context because, well, that's just not fun for anyone involved. So we'll go ahead and start diving in with a good general overview and our pre-made reports. All right, so basics of what we're going to see here is at its core, analytics is a Snowflake database-based reporting tool that utilizes Power BI to create simple and easy-to-use reports that are quickly and easily managed across a series of dashboards. We're going to start off with backup devices and session, device inventory and summary, an ESR or executive summary report, and a patch status report as defaults inside analytics. From there, like I mentioned, we'll be able to customize all of those reports to our needs, which we'll talk about in a moment. But focusing on these default items, we're going to get the basic access for what's available now in 2023.8. Right? We do pull that Snowflake database at about every 4 hours, giving us some reasonably updatable information, though of course we're always going to have some ways to look at refreshing or resyncing data as we're going through our usage of the tool. So we'll quickly hop into the dashboard here and let's take a good look at analytics and some of the basics with it. So starting off here on the left-hand side for 2023.8, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to come to administration, and we're going to come to user management and users. Ooh, actually, roles. My apologies. And I always get asked this question, so we're just going to kind of nip it in the bud in the beginning. In what do we have control-wise for users for analytics? And we see our analytics section inside our roles. We got the ability to enable or disable data export, and then the ability to view, manage, or turn off the ability to view reports. So some simple control, but some good control. Outside of that, to get to analytics, it has its own section there on the left-hand side. We'll come to analytics. Underneath that, we'll be able to get into our dashboard section. Dashboard section is going to be quick and easily filterable. We'll have our default reports and custom reports in the type, and we'll have our categories for further drilling down as necessary. We'll see we're going to have quick and easy access to our dashboards. You can go ahead, click on the dashboard you would need. So we'll just choose asset or device inventory, and we'll bring you into that dash. We'll look at rendering the report, pulling all the appropriate information, and then popping it up on the screen. Okay. Inside our individual reports, if we've been in Power BI, this looks normal to us. We'll be given the ability to filter timeframes, customers, sites, devices, what have you as necessary. Looking at tracking trend data or looking at, pulling the most pertinent and up-to-date data, right? Inside the report itself, we'll have the ability to perform a hard sync here in the top left-hand corner, or sorry, right-hand corner. Whew, that was rough. We'll have the ability to reset and report data. Sync's gonna pretty much resync the entire analytics platform, so do be aware as we're coming down, it may be a bit heavy-handed. You may want to take a more targeted report or approach to what we're looking at doing with resetting data or reloading reports as necessary. Inside each of our individual widgets, you will have the ability to drill down by spotlighting, getting access, or utilizing any of the other filter and Power BI style tools that we would need, right? Coming into levels of the hierarchy as well as expanding all down one level in the hierarchy as you would like. So coming in and just getting a good amount of information quickly at your fingertips in the report. Each of the reports will come with various pages that we are again able to drill down into to get more information as needed and pull any information that we would like. So quick and easy access for us at whatever one of these dashboard levels we're looking at pulling to give us nice, easily actionable information and reporting quickly at our fingertips. All right, so question comes. I'm getting an error when I click on the device inventory report. The report setup failure. Device inventory report could not be set up. Please open this report later. I haven't seen that failure yet, or at least that failure being persistent for longer than one attempt to set
Yeah.
up the report. So if that's something we're continually getting, if you could, one, open a support case, and two, send me the support case, and we'll get PM involved.
Yeah,
Unless, Megan, you
absolutely.
have a quick answer.
No, on occasion I've seen that happen for myself as well. And actually, the time that I've seen it happen the most often is if it's a custom report, which we haven't got to yet in the demo, which happens to have the same name. There was this short time where I didn't like ones with the same name, but it seems to have been resolved. And so, like Joe said, I have on occasion seen it. It's been fairly transient. If it does persist, open a ticket, support's ready to go to help you out. And often they can just escalate it directly to engineering if they need to. So we'll get that figured out for you.
Awesome. Yep. And quick aside, folks, if I ask you to email something to me or you have any questions or concerns about Enable, let me know. You can reach me at joseph.ferla, that's Ferla, at enable.com. Happy to field any and all Enable questions, or any and all kind of head nerd topic questions, right? Be it anything from analytics and then central to insight to operational efficiency to sales and marketing, to, man, I really just want to chat about the NFL season and why the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. But selfish plugs aside, let's go on a little bit further here. All right, so the real reason we want this tool, not to say that, well, actually, I should say one of the top reasons we want this tool, and not to say that these built-in reports aren't good. Don't get me wrong. I love built-in reports. But as an MSP, when I was sitting in the real world, I found that pre-canned reports typically just left something to be desired for me. Not that my provider wasn't trying to make the reporting better. It's just all of our end users love to think that they're unique snowflakes, right? I managed veterinary practices and that was it, right? 325 end users. I had 325 individual opinions as to what should be reported on. So just the nature of the game in a good reporting tool in the MSP space, customization is going to be a necessary item, especially customization that's easy. So when we look at what we're dealing with in analytics, right, choosing this Power BI style platform for us was just one of the things that we went into. We also love the fact that you can come in and query all of our data points. You can look at layering this throughout your dashboards and pages as you would need. And while we understand at the present moment that all of the data points are just difficult because there's so many of them and it's hard to understand from time to time, we will be putting out a dictionary for this, because that's always a question that pops up for us. So let's hop into a demo, and let's hop into a different dashboard here. All right, so we're going to hop into device summary for this, because I always like using the device summary for this reporting or customization item. Namely because this is the dashboard where we're going to want the most flexibility, at least in my mind, in our reporting, right? Am I giving the most basic device inventory to one of my clients for QBR? Am I looking at doing something for a compliancy item? Like I have to know when the OS was installed, when was its update date? Do I need to know point of original installation of OS, or even something as weird as like I need to know the creation date of the device, right? So this report just tends to be a fun one. So starting off, we'll come to the copy and edit button here in the top right-hand corner, and we will name the report here. Okay, and of course, give it a better name than what I'm doing. We'll go ahead, click create. And what you'll notice in the top right-hand corner is we're going to get put into what's called edit mode. Edit mode gives us the ability to edit our reports utilizing the ability to edit our filters, our visualization items, and our data points as necessary. Okay, please note you cannot do anything like export a report or look at viewing it from the dashboards page till it has been saved. You can't even get out of edit mode till we've saved. So nice, simple, and easy functionality here. Of course, we'll have all of our fun in the file dropdown for save or save as. We'll be able to mess around with our view items, right? We've got all of the nice Power BI tools, right? So let's be honest, I live here more than over here in that view and file section. Let's go ahead and save our report just in case I forget to do so. So down here at the bottom, we'll see a desktop layout and quite nice a mobile layout if you are accessing your End Central site from a mobile device, always fun to see. And for each of the individual widgets, we'll see the ability to move them around. We'll see the ability to edit the pre-existing widgets as we would need, or even coming so far as to look at building out your own items in a new page. So let's go, for instance, with my example of I need some more information on installation, right? I can come down, search for, say, app, or let's say, for instance, I want to search for not only application name, but also version. And then we could do something like date, search for earliest seen date, right? Maybe come in to look at purchase or warranty expired, right? I can look at installation date. There we go. We'll expand my widget so we can get a little bit more here. And then I can customize this information how I will need, right? What chart or individual way am I going to be presenting this set of information as I would need throughout my reporting, right? Giving us quick and easy access, again, to creating these reports as we would need. Once I've saved my report, I can exit edit mode. Once I've exited edit mode, I'm going to have the ability to edit the description of that particular report or delete that report as necessary. So not only do I have the quick and easy ability to look at generating information that's going to contain the data points that I need in a specific method that I need, I'm also going to be looking at quick and easy management of my reports. All right. All right, now, how are we going to get the information out, for lack of a better term? Our customer-facing items. We've got a number of ways to export data from analytics, but what we're going to focus on more being the value of the tool here is going to be our exports, be it PowerPoint, be it PDF, right? Or even some of the Excel items that we have. So hopping back over into the tool, right, we can come to our top export item here, and we can select either PowerPoint or PDF. Selecting either one of those items will generate us a nice little pop-up that says, hey, we're preparing this for export, and when it's ready for download, we're going to send you a nice and simple notification. So while we're waiting for that notification, let's say, for instance, I want to pull some more targeted information inside my reporting. Let's actually filter this for a customer that has some reporting for us. So we'll come down to Paul Kelly's client here, where we can come in and we can look at exporting data via CSV or Excel with the appropriate items chosen as necessary, right? Data with a current layout, summarized data as you would like, and just a quick, simple export. Okay. From that, we're going to hop back about a step. And if you guys remember that blue pop-up saying, we'll notify you when the report's ready to download, here's my green pop-up telling me that my report is ready to download. So coming in, looking at this executive summary report, we'll be able to open it up inside PowerPoint, and we're going to get all of the nice and pretty highlights that we see inside our reporting. For the eagle-eyed of you, you'll note the PowerPoint and the PDF export are going to be copies of the dashboards here. So the information that you are seeing is the information that we're going to be presenting to our end users. And something to be aware with this, because when we look at our customer names or we look at some of our other reports where we're able to get quite granular inside the dashboards themselves, we'll be looking at making sure we properly filter everything up top for our individual clients as we are exporting these, so they know that they're getting the personalized reports and exports that they need. Okay. And you'll see again the ability to export. But what I'm more so focusing on here is like inside the patch report, right? We're going to want to make sure we send or set the proper filters for us. All right, we'll hop over to the PowerPoint. There is scheduling as well when we look. Oh.
Yeah, if you like, I can speak to that.
Yeah.
So the ability to schedule and send our dashboards and reports, we know is also of really high value. So with our GA candidate, you will be able to create a schedule. You can have that, you can have either the dashboard or report sent out as a PDF or a PowerPoint on a particular day during a particular week, and have that on a repeating schedule. Now, a lot of partners have mentioned to me, I actually prefer to send it to myself, have it show up in my inbox, and then I put it together with a bunch of other stuff. That's a great strategy. Or you can send it directly to whomever recipients you like, as well as when your colleagues do the same, you are in fact able to see the master list of all of the schedules for any particular report, just so you make sure you're not spamming any of your key stakeholders with a bunch of stuff. Joe has showed us the ability to export the executive summary report as a PowerPoint, which is a great way, and it's sort of a purpose-built tool to be able to share that information out. Those are summaries only. So the executive summary report is not something that you would necessarily investigate, because it's not something you can drill through and add a filter and click through in the same way that you can with our dashboards. Our dashboards are intended to leverage the power of Power BI and get very interactive. You can click through and filter and really investigate what's going on with your data. Whereas again, the executive summary is really that high level summary, but sometimes to have that business conversation with your customers, that's the most meaningful thing to have. And so the PDF and the PowerPoint really support the ability to do that in a more streamlined way.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that leads us out from the demo and into the Q&A section of today's presentation.
All right.
So let's go ahead and check. All right, so a couple things that we get commonly asked kind of inside the Q&A is as we're looking forward, or as we're looking at moving towards GA here, we addressed with the dictionary. That's always going to be something we're looking at bringing out, as well as keeping updated. The other item, Megan, I'll let you kind of field this one, is cross-pollination of reports and how we're going to be looking at dealing with that type of access.
Sorry, the cross-pollination within different data domains or for different stakeholders?
Different data domains. Like, say I want to take my patch report and combine it with my asset inventory report to look at.
Yep. Well, Funny you should ask, Joe, because I have a long and complicated answer. It's not actually complicated, but it's not straightforward because there are all sorts of different ways to be able to tackle this. Now, analytics as it comes out of the box with N-central is our embedded Power BI, and that is a within product experience. So Joe's been demoing our dashboards and our reports, and they show up in N-central. You get 90 days of data as part, just out of the box default with N-central. And the data is in fact refreshed in your dashboards and reports every 24 hours. Now, there may be, but what else? But I need more kind of questions. And so the next tier up is our insights package. And so that gives you 12 months of data, so a longer historical trend to investigate data trends over time. It gives you the ability to see fresher data, so it can be refreshed up to every 4 hours in your dashboards and reports. But then specifically, it also gives you the ability to, it doesn't just come out of the box, but if you say, I do want to take advantage of this feature, we will provision you with a reader account for your Snowflake instance. And so if all of the data is going to Snowflake, and then what we can do with direct data access is provision you a reader account for just your N-central data, and you get secure credentials. And then this doesn't happen inside N-central, but then you go to Snowflake and you log into your instance using those creds. And then once you have access to that, that comes in SQL, you can connect that to whatever reporting tool you like. So maybe you do an ODBC, JDBC connection. You connect it to Tableau, Power BI, you can connect it to BrightGauge, you can connect it to whatever reporting tool you like. And then you really have the ability to mix and match and do as much as you like. The direct data access is a great option for those who have in-house resources to really take advantage of the tools. It's a bit of a funny thing because we give you the door to be able to get to your data, but then what you choose to do with your data is really up to you. So there's only so much that we can actually help you with all of those third-party tools, but we wanted to give you the ability to take advantage of that should you choose.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to send an answer to a question, and for some
That's
reason,
okay. For a second, I thought I lost you.
no, it's just go to meeting per normal doesn't like me. Anywho, all right, we had a couple people ask about the recording and PowerPoints from here. I can't send those out. Please note, folks, however, the Enable You analytics section is up and running. So inside the
my screen, I've got that ready. I can show you guys where it is. There you go. So go to, yeah, there it is. And then you see on the top left, N-central RMM for NOC engineers. That's the one. And then just collapse that top getting started because it's quite long. Yeah, and there you go. You can see that N-central analytics is there, and that's a getting started series for you guys. Now, what's interesting about this product is it's sort of characteristically different from things that we would normally build from scratch because it really does leverage the power of the Microsoft toolset, which is Power BI. So if you're familiar with Power BI from another lifetime, or you're just interested in the latest and greatest, there's a bunch of, there's a whole ecosystem that talks about neat stuff that you can do with Power BI. So while we can help you to understand the N-central data, there's a whole world out there of neat stuff you can do.
Yeah, and if you folks need any help with Power BI, shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to help with that side of the house, as I've been playing around with it more and more, and I'm finding it to be more and more useful in the reporting world. But anywho, outside of that, we don't have many more questions coming in, it looks like, Megan. So we'll open up the floor to you for anything you'd like to present, or anything like you like to talk about feature-wise that may be coming down the road. And then we'll look at wrapping up unless we have some more questions pop in.
Okay, you bet. What's interesting about the way that this is structured is that we pull in the data domains into our Snowflake, and then we take the time to build the custom reports and dashboards. And both of those things are done sort of in serial. And so if you do have a direct data access account, you'll be able to see all of the data that is available even before we've made a dashboard or a report for it. If you know and love N Central, which of course we all do, you know that a lot of neat stuff is hidden behind version upgrades. So while the functionality for analytics, which might be where copy and edit or schedule and send, those are dependent on the N Central release train, the data itself inside Power BI is not. And so we can push new reports and dashboards to you independent of N Central versions. So that will help us to be able to get things out to you more quickly. So we're looking forward to that. Speaking of getting things out, things that we are looking to make available as well in the reports, we're currently working on curating the data that we are able to pull into our patch dashboards. We're working directly with our patch team and with various dependencies of third-party vendors and different ways of classifying status and stuff like that. We're sort of doing an extra push on cleaning up the data in the patch dashboard. So look for that to be pushed out soon. Next on the list, we'll also have remote access. Soon we'll be looking at security. Custom properties is very popular request for us. Also, I should mention that nothing bad will happen if you'd like to run your report manager and use N Central Analytics at the same time. Nothing bad will happen. You can use them together indefinitely. The idea is to be able to showcase or to be able to unlock the power of the data in the analytics section. We will not really be doing a one-for-one replacement of all of the reports that are available in Report Manager today. There are a lot of data sets that we can pull in without needing to make a specific custom report to address that specific issue, whereas that was the only solution that was available in Report Manager. So what some of the data here that we've been talking about today will help to inform what are the most popular things, what are the most common things people are doing with their report manager, what are the most important questions we can help answer, and can we do that by a report, and can we do that by a dashboard, and where can those overlap, and how can we sort of optimize our tools. We know that Report Manager has been limping for a little while, and we're really trying to leapfrog here with the analytics tool set to bring us right up to 2023, 24 even, pretty soon, and be able to really join the masses who can use the best analytics tools that are available to be able to understand what's going on in their N Central. So yeah, so all that to say, it's probably quite a long tail there of understanding how to adapt business processes and where to find what you need, but you can certainly run those in parallel for quite some time. We do, however, recommend that you enable eventing. If you're on-premise and you upgrade to 23.8, we do recommend that you enable eventing. Even if you feel like doesn't have everything that you want today, as soon as you start enabling eventing, we're starting to collect data. And so if you keep checking back, pretty soon you'll have a month of data and then a second month. And then you're really starting to see data over time and also be able to take advantage of all of the new data sets we've been able to ingest.
All right, we did have one question come in, and I totally am remiss in, I always get this one. I should have had it in my common question section. We're going to give kind of a two-parter here. In 2023.8 with this GA release, will we have the ability to look at bringing standalone Cove data protection information into analytics? Part one, and then part two would be, what about the other standalone security products like EDR or DNS filter? And then I guess we're going to do part three. How about third-party tools?
Okay. So can I see Cove and can I see EDR? Between that and the ability for my customers to be able to log on digitally and see a portal, those are like the top 3 questions that we get all of the time. So for today, for 23.8, what we are doing is being able to log within N Central. So at the moment it's using the legacy backup tool. However, because it is such a high demand item that's coming from our partner base, we are actively looking at how can we better leverage the Cove data. Is it possible to have them both in the same view? Is it even possible to take Power BI and be able to see Cove data? Definitely a lot of open questions and a very high demand. So we're looking to actively investigate that. Then it was EDR, which is now that one is a lightweight integration into N Central. So I would like to think that we could map that within the security domain, that it's an extra lift. So I can't say for sure exactly when it will happen, but I know that that is also high on the list from my leadership team. Let's get EDR data into analytics. And then the third question was, what about third-party tools in general? Well, again, I would go back to the direct data access to say, just open that door to your data and really get into it. And then you can pull it into whatever reporting tool you like. Now, when you're looking at N Central and you're looking at the embedded reports and dashboards, that is within N Central. I don't think it's technically possible to pull in other data sets and have them display inside N Central. Not likely. That's where you'd want to pull the data from N Central and then put it into an agnostic reporting tool, for example, and then you could pull in a bunch of data sets to be able to look at that.
And then something to kind of tack on to what Megan just mentioned for the N Central users, we're releasing a lightweight integration for EDR that replaces the old integration. If you folks have not played with this enhanced integration or lightweight, whichever one you've heard, brings all of the standalone EDR capability into N Central and brings it in an easy to use updated integration. I've played around with it both in Insight and in Central. I was actually the first demo environment in the company to make the transition because I was the only one that had integrated and standalone. And it was a simple, quick, and easy migration. There were a couple hiccups for me that have since been fixed, and the integration is working quite well for me in Central. It gives you the API access, it gives you the report access, it gives you the user control access, it gives you more control over things like star rules, vigilance, ranger. It brings in full standalone capability. So what Megan's kind of alluding to there is N Central has now improved its integration with EDR that we no longer need to be reporting on the standalone one. Just as a quick plug and an aside to a totally different tool, go to Lewis Pope to learn more. But he's our security nerd. But back to the analytics side of the deal. So when we're looking for direct data access, Megan, is there going to be an additional license requirement, or how are we going to look at structuring that?
Absolutely, great question. So that will be a monthly charge that comes with the Analytics Insight tier, which also gives you 12 months access to your data and the 4-hour refresh. Now, in terms of multiple users being able to access that direct data, my best recommendation is I think we provision it according to one primary user, and as soon as that connection is established and you'll be able to pull the data out of N Central, then within your house you can distribute it as you like.
Awesome. We thank you so much for joining today. It was always a pleasure. If you folks have any other opinions on analytics or enable tools in general, look at joining one of our PAGs, our partner advisory groups. If you need, look at attending more of our boot camps and the like. As I mentioned, we did a PM summit last week over in Edinburgh, Scotland, which was quite fun. But PM is looking at working much more closely with us, the nerds, in a fashion. If you've paid attention to analytics for the past 6 months, me and Megan have already started. So look for that to kind of spread across our products and look at becoming a little more interactive here. But anyway, outside of that, we don't have any more questions. So it's been a pleasure, folks. Thank you so much for showing up. If again you do need anything, please let me know. I will be more than happy to jump in meetings or answer any questions you have about the Enable community. We'll talk to you folks later. Bye-bye.